In this video, I'll be sharing how easily you can cold brew your coffee with no special equipment. For years and years, I thought I hated filtered coffee. Never liked whatever I tried, and I was a strong store-bought, coffee shop bought latte addict. Then this trend and madness came out about 2 years ago. I started to see cold brew coffee everywhere. Short story long, after doing some research and several trials by myself, I came out with this super duper simple, no fancy tool required method and recipe. In terms of shelf life, I would say once I brew it, I can store it in the fridge up to, some say 2 weeks. It's fresh and good, but I usually brew a couple of days supply for myself, as the real estate is very precious in my fridge, and I don't mind planning this as it is so easy. A fun fact about cold brew coffee is about 70% less acidic than hot brewed coffee, which is awesome and gentle to your stomach. In terms of taste, to me, cold brew is sweeter and smoother, and I don't feel the burnt and very bitter taste as in the hot brew one. Probably because when you cold brew, your coffee grounds aren't exposed to high temperatures, and you don't get that very bitter taste as in the hot brew one. I also like the fact that I can control the quality as well as the strength of my coffee. Enough promoting the cold brew. Let's dive in. Extremely simple. All you need is really good drinking water, filtered water, the best coffee bean or grounds you like, and the mason jar. I love this brand, Allegro. I get this from Whole Foods, but again, just use whatever you like the most. Regarding the water coffee ratio, depending on your palate and choice, just experiment a couple of times and you'll have a sense of what you like, how strong you prefer. But I'll share how do I prepare mine. I already ground my beans, so you can use ground coffee, as I said to you. Some say a coarse grind is the best for cold brew, but I think the brand or the kind of coffee you use is more important than how fine your coffee ground is. Okay, here's my ratio, and you can cut it in half or double or even triple if you like, depending on how much you can store right in the fridge after you brew it. I have a 32 ounces mason jar, and for this I'm adding 6 tablespoons of ground coffee, and it smells amazing. 4, 5, and 6. All I'm gonna do is now to fill my jar with water and place in my countertop in an ideal location far from direct light, and just wait about, I would say, 36 hours. Okay, let me just fill this up. Okay, you just fill the water by doing some circles, but let me show you how it looks like on the top. Okay, and then I'll cover this with a stretch film. Put the day and time. For me now it's Tuesday 11 a.m. so that I know when 36 hours is done, and then just poke a couple of holes so that it can breathe, but that's pretty much it. Again, you can just experiment the time as well. I'm just sharing what I came up with now is the easiest part. I'll forget about it and let it brew by its own, and see you in 36 hours. And here's my soaking station. I just wanted to show you. Just keep it from direct sunlight and just forget about it. See you in 36 hours. Okay, it's been 36 hours and my coffee is fully brewed. As I mentioned before, you can experiment the time, which I already did. On my end, I did brew all the way from 12 hours to 48 hours. 12 hours for me is still not enough. The optimal, I would say 36, but sometimes if I forget 48 hours, 2 days, that's also fine. I mean, that depends on your palate and your preference. Just experiment and you'll see. Now it's time to strain and enjoy. As I promised, no special equipment needed. I have my mesh and unbleached dye-free paper towel, and this is gonna be my filter basically. I'll go ahead and pour the coffee and let it strain through. The way I do it, just grab a piece of paper towel, and then sometimes you'll see some crust on the top, coffee crust. Just give this a stir. All the coffee grounds are gonna sink in a second, and then basically I'm gonna strain slowly, and I'm pouring the coffee and let it strain through. I find paper towel strains way better than regular filters, and I just love using something for multi-purpose. I mean, we all have paper towels, right? Which is the great thing about this. You don't even need a filter. Okay, I'm almost done with straining. Okay, if you do it slowly, see the ground, you can just, don't need to even pour the whole thing and it gets, okay. I'm gonna give this a quick rinse because I'm gonna be using the same jar. Okay, a quick rinse. It is gonna take a couple of minutes, so you can go ahead and run your errands and come back and then store it later. So I'm gonna just let it sit so that it strains fully, and then come back maybe in 5 minutes. Okay, it's almost done. And I'll be pouring this filtered coffee back into the jar and store in my fridge. And you can compost this paper towel full of organic coffee grounds. This is perfect for composting. And I have just a couple of drips left. Yeah, okay, enough talking, time to enjoy, right? Let me show you. See, it's almost very clean, because we already got most of the grounds in the jar. If you just, you know, slowly pour to the strain, that'll do it. Okay, I like to warm it up in the morning, because I mean, you can use microwave or stovetop, whatever you prefer. Oops. Okay. And then let me show you how I drink. I like to add a little bit of milk and cinnamon. And let me tell you this, even when I hit my coffee cold brew, the taste is totally different than the hot brew. And on hot days, I like it black on ice, but you can drink however you like. Again, just experiment. Even room temperature, right now it's really good. It is delicious, super smooth, almost sweet I would say, but you can still taste the coffee. and you can create tons of versions. Just give this simple method a try and make your own cold brew. Enjoy! Cheers!
Bon appetit!